Fangoria Magazine started in 1979, and nobody really bought it, so they almost stopped publishing it. But the 80s kicked off a big horror movie boom. VCRs probably contributed to it, but low-budget horror movies did very well at the box office. And then Fangoria took off. Tony Timpone came in as editor-in-chief, and the magazine had a great 2-decade run. But as the story goes, along came the internet, and you could get all the horror movie news and updates whenever you wanted. So magazines like Fangoria lost subscribers. Over a few years, they changed editors a couple of times. There were some criminal allegations, and ultimately they just didn't have a whole lot of new ideas. So the rumors were going around that Fangoria would file for bankruptcy. Until it was bought out in 2018, and now it publishes quarterly. And I'm reviewing issue number 366. The cover has Megan on it. It's a bit boring of a cover considering the magazine's history of monster and gory and sometimes disturbing covers. But the movie was a huge hit, and although evil or possessed dolls are nothing new, I thought the movie was a lot of fun, and there's a section in the magazine dedicated to it. There's an article called Slasher Nation. It puts out kind of a tired claim that the politics of the day are why a particular brand of horror, like vampires, zombies, and serial killers, become popular. I first heard this claim probably 20 or 30 years ago, and even at that time I thought it was kind of ridiculous. A bunch of movies are made each year. If something makes a lot of money, people keep making that same movie until it stops selling. Who holds what political office really doesn't matter. There's an article called Huesera, the Bone Woman, which was filmed in Mexico. Its synopsis: a woman deals with the doubts about her impending motherhood that begin to creep into her mind, exacerbated by the frightening visions that suggest a supernatural presence is haunting her. I haven't seen the movie, but it sounds like something I'd like to watch. IMDb has it at 6.1, and the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is 63%. There's also a 6-page article on a commercial or a trailer from the 1990 Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3 movie. It's a cute commercial with its take on the Excalibur movie, but you only publish 4 issues a year, and with all the really great horror movies, music, TV shows, Halloween props, and Fangoria spending 6 pages on a 30-year-old commercial is kind of mind-boggling. In a section called My Visit to the Cabin, they visit a movie set. Now there's a book called The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay, and the movie Knock at the Cabin was made from that book. I've read the book and I really liked it. I haven't seen the movie, but I'll probably check it out at some point. Its synopsis: while vacationing, a girl and her parents are taken hostage by armed strangers who demand that the family make a choice to avert the apocalypse. IMDb has it at 6.1, and the Rotten Tomatoes audience is also 63%. In a Mayhem in Miniature article, it covers the history of dollhouse horror. It gives a short history of dollhouses and things like toys, models, movies, and for hobbyists. Some of the horror movies they've been in are the Amityville Dollhouse, Bly Manor, Hereditary, Annabelle Creation, and Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors. If you're into horror movie makeup, there's an article titled Greg Canham on Bram Stoker's Dracula. Canham's been doing movie makeup for decades. Some of the movies are Blade, Hannibal, Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and The Mask. And this article covers his work in the 1992 Francis Ford Coppola Dracula movie. I've always enjoyed the whole makeup, special effects, and horror topic, and I still like watching this movie. In Trouble with Trees, the growth of plant horror. Plant horror is, of course, where plants are the or part of the horror of that movie. Like the Pods in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, The Forest in Evil Dead, Swamp Thing, Little Shop of Horrors, or The Ruins. And I usually find movies where plants are the main antagonists kind of boring. But movies that take place in forests or caves or deserts make pretty effective spooky backgrounds. And there's articles on things like My Bloody Valentine, Cocaine Bear, The Best Deaths in 2022 Horror, and a few other things. Fango can be found on Instagram, YouTube, and all those other internet places. If anyone even watches this, thanks for sticking it out. Good night. Boo.